All right, Squeak. I know you got another question, so we could
Yeah,
get to the next one.
I'm gonna just do two more questions if you don't mind, Kush.
Nah,
I'm gonna
y'all, you good. You good. Y'all good. It's all good. Yeah, we flowing right now. I'm feeling
thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, explain how society voluntarily conforms to death traps because we were talking about the death traps, right?
Okay. How society conforms is through consent, whether oral consent or written consent. Short, sweet, to the point. Back to the
Like, can
words.
yeah,
Huh?
right. Break down the death trap.
Okay. The death trap is when somebody says, let's take it right here to status. Somebody says that you a so-called black person. So when you say that you a so-called black person, that's a death trap. And it sounds like, how can that be a death trap? It's only words, but the word is God. And what nation on earth is black? That's a death trap. That's the first indication of a death trap. You know what I'm saying? That really right. That's something that we've been taught, mistaught, to think like it's a positive to say my black man, or put emphasis on the black shit. When the black in law is, it falls under color, which means no court is gonna give you jurisdiction, meaning they're gonna slam you because you're not recognized by any court in the nation because black is artificial. So that's a death trap. Another death trap would be what you would say, driver licenses. Think about it. There's on a driver license, first of all, the definition of a license means permission to do something that which will be illegal without. That's the definition of a license in law. So think about it, like if it's illegal for me to do it without this permission from this license, why the hell we getting driver? Why are we getting licensed? For what?
Yeah, that's the mind games they like to play.
Right. So that's another death trap. Look, it hurt our pockets. It restricts our freedom. Like say somebody want to get a firearm license. Now, the Second Amendment says we Americans have the right to keep and bear arms. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nowhere in that where that amendment says, oh yeah, you need a license, by the way. You don't say that.
Right, exactly.
It don't say that. If it was meant for that to be, it would say that. You don't say that nowhere. So why do we need a firearm license to carry or walk around? Licenses are death traps. Slow death. Identity. Black, Negro, colored, African American, Pan African. Those are death. Indian. Those are death traps. Because
You say even Indian too?
even Indian more, because once you say you're an Indian, first of all, this ain't India. This is America. So in America, we're Americans. So how can we be Indians in America? You feel me? People either name themselves after the land or they name the land after themselves. It's interesting though, because you look at the land like Greenland, right? Nobody in Greenland calls themselves green, but they live in Greenland though. Feel me? Because
Right.
Greenland is part of the Americas, North America. Shit, wow, right?
Wow.
Yeah, man. It's a very diverse view and breakdown because that's a lot of reverse going on, and I ain't even gonna. I ain't even really look at things exactly that way, like reverse like that. But looking at it that way does make sense because literally when it comes down to just from something simple like the black and white thing, like
Yeah,
why do we have two titles? Why do we have titles on us? Colors on us? Why do we have colors on us that we know we not?
Right.
Right.
Because the reversal, like you said, more, the reversal has been to get us to, it's called abandon, to relinquish or surrender our rights, to never return. So we've been taught by these so-called black leaders, black activists, still to this day, they still own it. Black Lives Matter. We've been taught to abandon our national status as Moorish Americans, to black, which is a color, which means counterfeit, pretending to be, not recognized in law. So when you say you are Indian, you're saying you're dead. When you say you black, you're saying you're dead in law. Civil little mortuus. You don't have rights. You have privileges that could be given and taken away at any time that your master says they want it back. No different than a dog. If a dog does something, what do? You reward a dog. You give him a doggy biscuit. You give him a doggy treat. Now, if the dog raise up on you and growl at you, what you do? you take his treats away. That's what's going on. Look at that on a grander political scale. That's what's happening. So-called black people, they like celebrities and shit, whatever, athletes, they get out of line, they get their shit took back. But they do something good for them, they get a reward. They get a higher raise, a salary. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as they say something that they shouldn't have said or do something that they shouldn't have did, what happened? They get shamed. They get their jobs cut. That's what's going on, more.
Right. That is what's going on for sure.
Facts.
Because it doesn't matter how much money you got. It doesn't matter how much money you got.
Bill Cosby was a billionaire. Look what happened to him.
Yeah, facts. Big facts. I wanted to ask you, do you believe that, they took us from here and sent us to the West Indies?
Real rap, more. We've been everywhere on the earth. We've always been everywhere. That's why we can't think about this shit. Can you go anywhere right now where we ain't there? Because you know how somebody be like, man, I can't go nowhere. I'm saying I ain't saying they'll be like black. I can't go nowhere and see nobody there ain't. I'm saying like black. You know how people say that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? On some funny shit, but we always been everywhere. So you can't go nowhere we ain't been at. Unless you finna go build some place like in your own secluded little gated community or something like that.
Yeah.
We been everywhere. So the so-called the word indie really means indigo. So it's really a color. So indigo is the people that they saw that were there. The color was dark bluish, dark purplish, dark brownish. They said indigo. Columbus and all of them, they said indigo. The Spaniards, the Inquisition, they mislabeled us Indians because they had it in the mind that they landed in India, which is really known as Hindustan. The next time y'all go to a Dunkin' Donuts or somewhere where you got so-called Indians there, ask them, see what they say. Be like, where you from? What's your nationality? They gonna be like, they might hit you with the, I'm Indian. But then be like, nah, you ain't Indian, man. You from Hindustan. Watch how they look at you.
Damn. You know what I want to say? I want to say for people that's reading and learning and stuff like that, just understand that I think every state, almost every state got changed. The name of every state got changed a lot. Like it's crazy when you really look at it. Like it's like name after name, like a good 5 to 6 times. So that's be messing with your history research.
Oh God, because you got like over the Americas has over 480, I think it's 83 names that are actually Arabic origin.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, over 480 some names, towns, cities, rivers, lakes is actually of Moorish origin. Like a name like Alabama. Alabama is Alabumia. Cairo. How you got a Cairo, Illinois? Cairo, Illinois? I thought Cairo was on the other side over there where Egypt was at. Know what I'm saying? Right. Here in New York, right? I'm in New York right now. So you got Medina. Like Medina? I thought Medina was on the other side of the world over there. How's Medina over here? Because this is the old world over here in the Americas. The Americas is the true old world. It's a book out. I forget the Moor that wrote it, but it's called The True Old World. He got 4 volumes, but I can only get 2 right now. I'm looking for them other 2. Whole time he got the Americas, the true old world, fam, is breaking all this down. Like out here, y'all got the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty's origin is a Moorish woman. A Moorish woman is actually the Statue of Liberty. And on so-called Ellis Island, they have an inscription on there describing the Moorish people, the Moorish woman. Shit,
I gotta check that out. About the Statue of Liberty. I got my eyes on the Statue of Liberty, man.
Yeah.
I got my eyes on the Statue of Liberty, man.
Cause look, what color does copper turn when it got too much air, oxygen? It turns green. Who are the copper people? The Americans, the Moors, the people, the melanated people of the planet. We're the Moors. So copper turns green when it gets oxidized by water and air. Just like if you drop an anchor off a ship into the ocean, after a while, it's going to turn green. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the Statue of Liberty is the color it is, because of the oxidation of the elements of the weather. In reality, she really was copper. And she's holding a torch
Right.
The torch means she's the torch bearer of civilization, the Moorish woman.
These
Know
are
what I'm
bars
saying?
right here. These are bars.
Real, fam. It's all in our face. And these immigrants that come over here, that's the real slaves. The immigrants that come over here to our land, the Americas, they're the foreigners pretending to be Americans as white. And they all know that we Moors and this our land. This is why they don't ever bring up the fact of Article 3, Section 2 of the Constitution, which brings up the fact of diversity of citizenship. What does that mean? That means if you have a claim against a national, like us right now in this panel, we're the Americans, so this is our land. So you have to go speak to a delegate who is a national to represent you in our land because you're a foreigner. You know what I'm saying? That's like us saying, if we got a discrepancy in China, wouldn't we be the foreigners in China?
Right. Yeah. If we want,
Know
if
what I'm
we came to China.
Yeah, exactly. If we went to China, Japan, or Germany, we wouldn't be having the national rights that an actual or citizenship status that a natural blood German or a Japanese person has, will we? You know what I'm saying?
True.
So this is what Europeans are doing in our land, pretending to be Americans. This is why nobody talk about diversity of citizenship. This is why nobody.
Bro,
Yeah.
It makes, it's definitely like, all right, yeah, you know what, that's another thing to look at, because when you got your eyes on everything, it's like I didn't look at that angle of like land, you know what I'm saying, having land already and then perpetrating. I'm looking at taking from somewhere else and using greatness.
Yeah.
So it's like that's another way to look at it.
Yeah, fam, because the definition of land in the Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, the word more is in the definition of land.
Right.
Facts. The definition
I gotta check all that out.
Check it out, G. You can pull it up right now if you got a laptop. The definition, Black's Law Dictionary of land, has the word moors in that definition. Facts. So that means when somebody asks, well, where's the Moorish land at? You standing on it.
We're like tenants in our land, right?
Right. Instead of title holders who have a national status as Moors, we become abandoned mentalities mindset of Black, Indian, Negro, and color. This is why they keep pushing that Indian bullshit out. They want us to be Native Americans and Indians because that relinquishes Europeans being accountable for being foreigners in our land. This is why the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said the European is 3,000 miles away from home. See? This is why they don't talk about nationality, because when they start talking about nationality, you got to be like, well, where you from? Because you for damn sure ain't American, because the definition of American is Aboriginal, Indigenous, copper complexion. You don't match that definition, fam. So where you from? You ain't no American. You don't say Indian. You know what I'm saying? You don't say Indian. It says Aboriginal, Indigenous. It says American, not Native Indian, American Indian. You don't say that in there. 1836, Noah Webster Dictionary.
I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't even think American had a definition. I really just thought it was just like a corporation. Like I didn't even think it had like some type of identity connected to indigenous nature. Period.
Yes, sir. It's right there, more right there in the definition of
That's
American.
good to know.
Yeah, because it's strong, because it tied. Because I like to make shit simple, that's relatable. So I look at it like, if you show somebody straight from the book what it is, it's really non-debatable. I don't have to go back and forth with you about my opinion, what I believe. No, I'm gonna go right to the language that we speak. We speak English, so let's go to an English dictionary and to get the definition. That'll alleviate all this wasted time and shit.
Oh, it's never a waste of time at all.
Yeah,
it's always a build. It's always a build up in the learning. You know what I'm saying, and expressing as far as it goes. Because I don't think you should have to fight your way for what you shouldn't have to fight too much for what you're saying. You shouldn't.
Right.
It should just be about. It should, if anything, it should be about who's gonna read a little more than if we gonna get there. Like,
Right.
Right.
Hey, your
That's
word is
all
your
it is.
bond. Your word is your bond. Like it should just be what we say it is. Like I go off writs. So that's how I get through with this system. I go off my writs. Whatever I
Right.
say, my word is my bond. So you can't go
Exactly.
against that.
Exactly. So you can't, if somebody be like, you speak English, I speak English, words have definitions. So let's go to the source of the word so we can get the definitions. That's all. And then somebody be like, nah, you making that up. Nah, I'm gonna go right to the dictionary, an older dictionary, and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. That's all. Just like no different if somebody was having a problem with math, I'm gonna go to the mathematical table for the problem, whether it's addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, you know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna go to the chart and we're gonna pull up the answer.
right,
You feel me? Just make it simple. Because 2 plus 2
Right.
is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. I don't care what language you speak, what country you go to, what continent, it's gonna come up with a different language, but the same answer gonna be is 4.
yo, yeah. I mean, for everybody listening and for us too, you know, this is how you get the facts out, and
Yeah.
not use your emotionality. This is how you use your mental and your critical thinking, because emotionality kind of runs this world for low frequency things, but we don't want to use emotionality too much. We don't want to use emotionality too much unless there's love involved, because
Yeah.
that's the only place that is stable. And even there, you still have to watch how much you're using it.
Yeah, gotta stay critical thinking as far as the knowledge, who, what, when, where, why, and how. Because beliefs mean you don't know. You don't. When somebody says that they believe something, that's a strong opinion. When you say you know something, I know. When you get in your car, you say I know how to drive. You wouldn't get in the car with somebody and say, oh, I believe I know what I'm doing. Nah, I'm not finna get in the car with you. No, sir. Know what I'm saying? You feel me?
Right.
You
I'm gonna
better
take
know
you to
how
the parking lot though. I'll take you to the parking lot real quick and
Right.
show you how to drive.
Right. I show you how to drive so you can know how to drive. But I ain't finna get in the car with you though on the street. You crazy?
All right, so we over here. We down to like the last question and everything. I just wanted to get. You don't got to make it long or anything. That you can make it just as short as you can.
All right.
Give for the people. This is for the people.
Yeah.
What made you make a change? Like, what made you say, you know what, I'm gonna do something different? Because we need to spark the minds of people, and we want more. We want more warriors, man.
What made me get it was getting into it with like slave patrol, because that's who they are. Police, they're slave patrol. That's their original name, slave patrol. So real shit. What got me into it was like, you know, confrontations with them, slave patrol, plus where my mind was going. I was searching for answers, and the black thing wasn't working. I never really associated with the black thing, but because it just didn't sit right with me. There's just something about that, like black, like that just, it never sit right. Then African American, it just never really felt like me. And then, you know, bumping across videos like Tyree Bay, Grand Sheik Tyree Bay, that put me onto a lot. It was a moment. Policy enforcers, slave patrol, they you know what I'm saying, they had me, or they thought they had me. And I ain't gonna lie, I was nervous as hell when it was going on. But I had been studying for a while, good while. And I was like, shit, this is the time. It's either now or never. I'm finna use what I've been studying and see if this shit work or it don't. And I was nervous as fuck. I ain't gonna lie, I was super nervous. But I stood on it, G. And after that policy enforcer, that slave patrol dude let my arm go, he had grabbed my arm, was like, man, give me your ID or whatever, woo woo. And I was like, if there's no injured party, I don't have to present you anything. So he looked at me and he was like, what you say? I said, if there's no injured party on the scene, I don't have to show you anything because there's no evidence of a crime. And in order for me to show you my ID, there has to be lawful evidence, articulable reason for me to show you my ID, because it's a crime that took place. He went over there I was nervous as hell though, because I'm like, shit, I don't know if this shit gonna work. Fuck it, let me pull it. So he let my arm go. He looked at his partner. This real shit. He looked at his partner. He went over there to go talk to his partner. I don't know what the fuck they said to each other, but he ended up letting me go. He let my arm go, he said some other things, and he said something about have a nice day. That's a true story. After that day, though, fam, I felt like Goliath, though, nigga. I felt like I was like 100 feet tall, G. Real shit. But I ain't gonna lie though, I was nervous when that shit was going on, because I'm like, I don't know if this shit gonna work. What if it don't work? I was doubting myself because I wasn't ready yet. But that moment made me get ready and take more science serious. That moment.
That's
and
real.
after that though, it's been lit.
Nah, that's what's up. That's an amazing story. Like,
Yeah.
Real more. It was just like that. I was nervous as hell. Like, I don't know if this shit gonna work. What if this dude lock me up? What if I do gotta show him my ID? But some told me this is it. Nigga, you been doing all this studying. This it. You either gonna show and prove, or you gonna be on some coward shit. So I just pulled it with it. That was my moment where I knew I had to pull it.
any other moment where the knowledge came in handy?
Yeah, I had a couple other incidents with Slave Patrol. I had to pretty much like check them, because as Moors nationals, it's our obligation to know law and to check these policy enforcers who are not constitutional. By the way, they're not There's no where in the Constitution where it mentions police, FBI, alphabet boys. It's nowhere in there. These are all colorable corporate jobs that are out here murdering our people. So it's our duty to know law and be able to articulate law and put these policy enforcers, Slave Patrol, in check. And that's what law comes in at. Like we was talking about earlier about being able to use it, read it and use it, and being able to articulate and spit it out in real time though. Like nah, let me go get a piece of paper, and sometime you ain't gonna have no time to get a piece of paper. Read some shit. You gotta be able to spit that shit out. So you gotta be ready. You gotta stay ready, get ready, you gotta stay ready. Cause at any time, what they say in boxing and MMA, you gotta protect yourself at all times.
Right. Have you been successful in discharging debt?
Me, myself, I have not tried to do that. So I don't know about that. But see, I want to say this on the record though. It's not the fact that Moors do things. If you're in the higher mindset of natural law and your heart is right and you are operating as your proper person, you're operating in common law, natural law, you're on the right path. You're doing the right thing. I want to say this though on the record. It's not the fact that you're doing something wrong if you're using common law properly. It's the fact that, again, we're under colonial occupation. So these foreigners that are in our land, they want us to be discouraged. So they want to, shit on us and be like, oh, no, well, you did something wrong. But in reality and law, you didn't do nothing wrong. It was just the fact of we need to strengthen our body politic as a people, as Moors. That's the thing. Because people see Moors or go down or whatever. What the thing is, if you're lawful, you're on your square and you're writing your writs and you're in law, you are doing nothing wrong. But colonial occupation will make it seem like you didn't do this right, or you didn't do that right, because they don't want to give us back our keys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. Do you think this knowledge is going to be able to protect us when Big Brother advances as far as buying or exchanging goods?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely going to protect us, because without a nationality, you have no lawful protection. Zero.
Just to summarize a short summary, what's the line of defense?
Our line of defense is enforcing law, treaty law, the 10 Bill of Rights. That is the Constitution. That is our protection. And in the Constitution, don't forget, it says that when the people have the right to alter or abolish a government that goes against the Republican form of government, which is the government for the people. So right there in the 10 Bill of Rights, it tells us that we have the right to alter or abolish a corrupt government, which is the democracy. So what's known as liberty's teeth, that's the Second Amendment. That's the firearms. You notice that these hybrid Europeans, they not so quick to hand their guns over like so-called black people. So-called black people like, oh yeah, we'll give you $200 if you turn your AR in. Europeans like, nah, no sir, I'm not turning my guns, because they know enough to know, like, if we turn our guns in, how we gonna defend ourselves?
You said it.
See, they know enough to know, like, they turn them firearms in, they done for.
Right. So, do you think like we're gonna be able to like stop them from just like randomly just snatching us up in camps or some weird shit like that, or closing the bank?
They definitely gotta pick up this book. It's called Behold a Pale Horse. And in that book, they outline like the plan, the Rex 84 plan, and Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. They actually outline the plan of what they're gonna do. So if you're not in the de jure status as a national, you pretty much like a beast of burden to this U.S. corporation. And what do beasts get? Cows walk into the slaughterhouse, they come out as steaks. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
So you just got to stay ready, stay with law, because the Indian thing ain't work, the black thing ain't work, the color thing ain't work. So,
Right.
I mean, nationality is the order of the day. That's what they don't want us to talk about. Say what more?
No, I said agreed.
Yeah, more like they want us to talk about all this black, Indian, Native American. But if you think about it, look, if we was all Indians, right, like they say sometimes, why would there be a such thing as the United Negro Fund? If we was all Indians, why would there be a such thing as the NAACP?
Nah, I don't think we all Indians. I just know like the Indian culture has a different set of people, and it's a longer standing empire. So I know that it's lasted much longer than anything else that we put on that list to check off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the whole time though, like Indian is a misnomer. And like if you get Ballantyne's Law Dictionary, it says in there, in Indian lands that belong to the US government. So actually Indians were tricked to become Indians. So the European can become a $5 Indian to claim their land and steal their land. That's how the Indians got tricked. The so-called Indians, that's how they got tricked out their land. They got approached by the Dawes Commission. Dawes Commission told them, well, if you come with us and you check this box off that says you're an Indian, we're going to give you some different things than the so-called, they said black. We're going to give you some different things than the black people or the color or the niggers. We're going to give you something different than the niggers. So they got tricked. And they had help. The Dawes Commission had help by the sellout Indians, because you got sellout Moors as well. Sellouts is everywhere. So the sellouts was everywhere, man.
I want to make this clear though too, because I say like I'm down for my people, no question. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But it still has to be clear, like, yo, it's it's good versus evil, because it's just like there's some people that's they're supposed to be family.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be with you. They're supposed to be for us, not even just me, just for us, and they just tearing us apart, man.
Yeah.
So I say good versus evil.
Yeah. On God, because they take the payoff. And the so-called Indians, they cooked up with something called look up this for a reference. It's called the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Look that up when y'all get a minute.
They try to get me to sign up with that one.
Yeah, don't do it, because the Indian Bureau of Affairs is a colorable organization for denationalization and genocide. Same thing with Black Lives Matter. It's a colorable organization. Like somebody would be like, who listening to this later, they might be like, well, how do you know the good from, like Moore just said, how do you know the good from the bad or the evil? Okay, you go by, what do you stand for? What free national standards do you stand for? First of all, are you talking about nationality? Because nationality links you back to a land, a language, a history, a culture, a nation. Black don't do that. Indian don't do that, because you look at Indian like, this ain't India. And India over there is really called Hindustan, like we spoke on earlier. So what language do you speak? You don't speak black. You don't speak white. You don't speak brown. You don't speak melanated. So what language do you, where's your flag? So the enemies are the ones who go against those principles. Those are the enemies. If they go against any of those, they go against the Constitution, they go against the Treaty of Tripoli, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, which is the longest standing treaty in the world. If they go against these references and others too, But if they go against free national standards, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, if they go against that, those are the yops. If they come in, it don't matter if they come with you with the, oh yeah, we all people of color, that's a death trap. Yeah, just join us because we the Indians. Death trap. Why are Indians placed on reservations? See what I'm saying? You feel me? Why is the definition of Indian lands belong to the U.S. government? I thought these was y'all lands. See, the Indians got tricked to occupy the lands owned by the U.S. government, who is a corporation. So so-called Indians, they don't even own their own land. They have perpetual occupancy to stay there as tenants, but they never will attain ownership under the Indian brand versus Moorish National, which is a allodial title to all the lands on the planet. That's the power of nationalism. That's why they don't talk about it on the news, TV. They ain't gonna talk, they gonna be like, shh, nah, keep that shit quiet.
Right.
Keep them black, Negro color, keep them Indian. Know what I'm saying?
And they put an Indian removal act like just right there in your face. Like, okay, yeah, we're gonna put y'all somewhere else. We're gonna move y'all to the Midwest, so you're gonna go on a reservation just to get them out.
Exactly. Think about this though, before we slide. Why do our people gotta start thinking on some like check this out. People free to think whatever they want to think, but I'm gonna throw this out there as a suggestion. Why don't so-called black people get deported? So-called black people cannot get.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a good one. History says we come from somewhere else, and if we can't get deported, or if there's no accusations of deportation, then it's just like that's a big question mark, and that's a good read right there. That's a good this is gonna make people want to read, bro.
Yeah, more. The reason why we can't be deported, and the reason why they keep building all these jails and prisons more than they're building actual universities, is because the U.S. corporation needs workers. So they will enslave the original people, the Aboriginal indigenous people, on their own land to be exiled as political prisoners in the prison system. So if our people who have been mislabeled as so-called black, Indian colored, if they are deported, that will raise up international controversy known as terrorism. So that will be a war crime that will ignite the planet, because they'll be like, wait a minute, how are you deporting these people back over here that's from North? See, this is how they do it. They'll be like from North America. How you doing that? Wait a minute. I thought y'all was only deporting people that's in the so-called West Indies. Wait a minute. You only deporting people in the West Indies. When y'all started deporting so-called black people from from North America? Because they've been human trafficking our people, fam, in the so-called West Indies for a long time under color of law. See how they do it? They slick, G. See how they do it?
This is heavy. It's heavy.
See how they do it? See how they do it? Now you ask somebody from the so-called West Indies, Trinidad, Haiti, you know what I'm saying, Jamaica, you ask one of them, the DR, you ask one of them like St. Croix, St. Lucia, you ask one of them like, man, do you need a green card when you go up there to see your family in North America? They'll be like, yeah. But it never dawns on people like, why don't we ask the Europeans that are here for their green card? Where they green card at? Ain't you from Germany? Where your green card at? Oh, you from Romania. What? Okay, you in America now. So where's your green card? See what I'm saying?
I got my views on it. I got my views on all that, the green card stuff. I just never thought to really think too much into it, but I just never really liked it, because I was just like, y'all, it seemed like y'all picking on Mexicans, like y'all just saying, yo, y'all gotta have green cards, but nobody else has to have. It's like, it was weird, but I never really even put thought into it. I'm too busy like living in the world and just thinking about who I'm around. So but I never really thought about the green card thing. And that's a big point, because only one people have to deal with that.
Exactly. Mexico is in North America. So how can Mexicans not be Americans? Mexicans are Americans. People from Costa Rica, Panama, Brazil, all of that. We're all Trinidad and all that. They're all Americans.
Bro.
But see, the color of law got us thinking like, nah, we need green cards. How we need a green card and we at home already? See, this goes back to Article 3, Section 2 of the Constitution, diversity of citizenship. Who are the citizens in the Americas by law? The Americans, copper complexion people. Who aren't the citizens of the Americas? Europeans. This is why they got to go back home. This is why they don't talk about nationality. Because all we got to do is say, hold up, we're Americans. Who are you? Oh, they'll be like, oh, I'm an American because I was born here. No, the fuck you not. By law, you are what your mother is, and your mother's mother's mother is this ancestral descent of Lithuania. So, in order for you to be an American, the Moors here have to be recognized first as nationals. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I like that the laws get understood and get broken down that much to the point where it could be put in its proper place for the right understanding. Because without some type of understanding, you just looking at whatever order comes.
Exactly, more. The law. We got to get back to law, and that's what Allah. Allah is all law. We got to know all law by knowing ourselves, because man and woman and child is Allah. We are the creation of Allah in the flesh, and our words are the spirit, the holy breath, which is the truth. So when we start spitting truth out, we're spitting holy breath out, killing the lies. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. The lies definitely got to go, and it's gonna be a run, like getting through all of the lies, because it's so many. But that's one of the big parts of like waking people up and getting people to understand things and think different, is getting through the lies, and that's not easy to do. I ain't even gonna lie, it's not easy to do that.
Yeah, just stay on the truth though. That they like I said in the Bible, or the Quran, or the Septuagint, or the Vedas, and all of that, the Emerald tablets and all. They all pretty much telling the same story. The truth shall set you free.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That is a fact.
They pretty much saying all the same stuff. The truth will set you free. Not what I believe or none of that. What's my opinion? Don't care how I feel about it. Is it true or is it false?
One last thing. So you know how they always, oh, we need reparations, but everybody else get reparations.
Yeah.
And then they asked the president about reparations. He said, oh, well, we'll think about it. Well, I'm thinking about it, and then we gotta give to the Indians first. Right. And then I'm like, in my head, I'm like, but the money is our reparation. We just don't know how to honor it. Correct?
Yeah. But see, we gotta first be in our proper status as Moors, because Europeans are foreigners, so you gotta keep that in mind. They can never give us nothing in our own land. They've been living off Moorish virtues for about a couple millennia now. So they have nothing to give us. Only we can give ourselves reparations. And reparations in law means to repair a nation. That's the lawful definition of reparations. That's why so-called black people and Indians and whatnot, etc. That's why they're never going to receive reparations, because black, Indian, colored people of color, that's not a nation. That's a belief system. Nation of Islam, that's a belief system. Fruit of Islam, that's a belief system. Pan-African, that banner that they wave around, that's not recognized in in the entire African continent. RBG and all that, that's not that red, green, and black banner, that's not recognized in any so-called African nation on the planet. So in order to get reparations, you first have to become and declare a nation. Moors. That's the last lawful name on document as a people. Moors.
Facts.
For real.
Y'all got any other questions?
Questions forever, but we gonna have to continue this.
Yeah, we
definitely
don't want to.
need a part 2 for this.
He got stuff to do.
Yeah, like.
Kush, if you don't mind, we gonna have a part 2 and part 3. We just gotta,
Oh yeah, it's lit. Yeah, it's lit. It's lit.
Here's a book I have now. I have a book called The UCC Connection: How to Free Yourself from Legal Tyranny. That's what I'm using right now.
Yeah, UC, but keep in mind though, UCCs are pretty much on paper backing up what's already in the Constitution by divine law.
Okay.
So they try to hit us with the UCC game, but they try to negate the fact that everything that we already have, we've been born with. This is why the kingdom of heaven is within. So our salvation is literally inside, closer than our skin.
Wow, that's deep.
That's what salvation really is, though. Salvation is closer than our own skin.
This is bars right here.
It's inside ourselves.
Hope y'all paying attention. This is bars.
But people really need to hear. People need a lot of people gave up. A lot of people don't feel like they could create, they could create peace within them, and their frequency could raise up and make something better. It's just we've been seeing the world like this for so long, so people really just think, oh, this is the devil's playground, and he's just gonna con this whole thing every second, and you're never gonna have a moment to step up and try to make something different. You're just gonna take defeat. It's a lot of that going on. So we gotta know, like, believe in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Make sure people believe in themselves still and don't get down, because that's really, it is a down thing when you get like that.
Yeah, facts. Because you gotta. It's 3 levels of that. It's 3 levels. It's 3 levels of salvation. You got belief, which is the first degree. You got faith, which is the second degree, and then you got fruition, which is the final degree. So belief, faith, and fruition is all in unison. So there's nothing wrong with somebody saying they believe something, but you want to go past that to faith in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody on some real shit. Somebody could say they could shoot better than Steph Curry. They could believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? They could believe that they got a burner like Steph Curry. They could have faith in that shit, but if they not putting that work in the gym to make it come into fruition, they just talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For real, man.
Real shit.
For real. So, all right. So we gonna start closing it out. You know what I'm saying? I think we went in. You know what I'm saying? I know.
Oh yeah.
We'll definitely revisit. With the blessings. If it's meant to be and everything. I know. So this is Creative Collection. We got our special guest Cush. Goldfinger Visions.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Squeaky Gems. Get your healthy goods.
Shout outs to Pharmacy for Life. Shout outs to Tyree, the administrator of the room. Everybody in the room, Water World. Shout outs to you, Cush Dey, for giving us that knowledge for our youth and our generation to uplift and keep rising that frequency.
Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all for having me on here.
Facts. Appreciate your time.
Great talk.
All right. Peace, Moss.
Peace, Moss.